Greetings and salutations, everybody. All y'all metalheads, all y'all non-metalheads, all y'all moonstompers, punk rockers. Moonstompers is from a Rancid song. My name is Pavlos.
And I'm George.
And we're just a couple of metalheads who love talking about metal because it's pretty lit, my dudes.
Indeed.
Are you ready for this, George? Episode 1? It's so good. It's happening here. I'm so happy and excited.
Me too. This is good. Definitely going to be new for both of us, but it'll be a lot of fun, and hopefully it's a lot of fun for our
my mom's been begging me to do this for like a while. It's like
really,
yeah, and it's like for years. It's like when I was a little baby boy. I was when I was a baby boy. I wasn't listening to metal then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, this will be cut out of the thing unless I keep it in. I'm closing my window.
Okay.
Before we get started on our news stuff, we're just gonna say that during this week, I believe his name is I know his name. I think you pronounce it Ennio Morricone, legendary film composer, died this week at 91. He wrote the soundtrack for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and one of the most famous ones. The thing that most metalheads will remember is the Ecstasy of Gold, which Metallica plays before every show.
Yeah.
It's on S&M. It's a Metallica S&M on the intro as well. So we're gonna take a moment of silence for him now. All right. So, let's get started on the fun stuff.
Indeed.
We're just so everyone knows, we're still figuring things out. This is again our first episode, and the audio is gonna be a little like there might be some like in the background or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get started. So, first off, so there's this there's a Slipknot tribute band in New Jersey called Of Sick. Sick is spelled in S-I-C. Right after the Slipknot song "Sick," a lit song. Y'all should listen to it.
Indeed.
And basically, and these guys look legit. Like the pictures, they look like it. They don't look like it looks like Slipknot back in the day.
Yeah.
And what they're trying to do is they plan to start off with Slipknot self-titled, and over the years go to Iowa, and then Volume 3, and then Hope Is Gone, Great Chapter, and so on. Now they're looking for a new lead singer or for their cover band. They're like, they put in what Corey Taylor's how do I say this? His
physical features, his stats.
Yeah, his features. Like it's like in video games, and you're like, "What do you want? This? This?" It's like they're asking for that, and especially stage experience, because Corey commands a crowd like he's a god.
Right.
Which he is. He's a legendary god.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Corey Taylor responded on Twitter, and I quote on this: "If you're interested, I'm also sitting at 166 pounds." And I'm hearing this, and I'm just like, wow, Corey Taylor. It's like he needs to keep working. He's already the lead singer of Slipknot, Stone Sour. He does books, and he busy man. What do you think about that, George?
Indeed, he is definitely one of the most prolific frontmen in the world of metal and rock. But just going back to the band Of the Sick for a moment, their concept is interesting, and you could definitely sense there's a lot of dedication and passion to it. They want to be as precise as being almost mimicking Slipknot down to the most granular detail.
they want to embody the Slipknot sound and the Slipknot look and this just the
right,
signature.
right. But I don't know. I find that, and forgive me if this differs from what you think, but they are a tribute / cover band, and from my experience, cover bands and tribute bands, they don't necessarily get a good name in the music community, and I think that might cause their passion intensive efforts to be wasted, in my opinion. I think I would rather see these guys as more like a Slipknot inspired original band, like alt metal. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I get it. Like I get it. It's like, okay, it's a tribute band, but it's not the real deal.
Right.
I mean, in my opinion, it only makes sense. Let's say like a Beatles tribute band.
Yeah. Okay.
Way more sense in a sense than in a band that's already out there. I mean, I guess I sort of understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to show everybody what Slipknot could have. Because not everyone's gonna be a lot. We can't go back in time to see Slipknot back in their self-titled 1999 era where they were like with just pure energy and pure just and power.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know what they look. I haven't seen a video of them, so I have nothing to judge. But I see what you're getting at. Like I understand that, but I like the. I will say, kudos to the idea. It's lit. Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah, they're going for.
Agreed. Yeah. Kudos to Of the Sick. Keep on rocking, you guys.
Oh, and congrats on Corey Taylor. Just responding. That's awesome. I want Corey Taylor to respond to my messages. I've never sent him one.
Same.
I want him to come to my house right now. Oh, hey Pavlos, you want to join the band? You'll be our fourth drummer. You'll play the cowbell. Dong dong.
Wow, that is such an accurate Corey Taylor impression.
Yeah, it is. He would be so proud of me.
All right.
So, I will say this band. I would be tempted to see them if they came to.
I would too.
I would, especially if Corey Taylor ended up being the lead singer.
Yeah.
I want to see Corey someday. I don't care if it's with Stone Sour, solo. Well, I'd rather see it with Slipknot because they're like the best metal band, in my opinion. But
okay.
Even then, I just want to hear his voice.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, good topic. Good news.
Yeah. What they should have done? They should have just asked Corey Taylor instead. It's like, hey Corey, you want to join a cover band? Oh yeah, dudes. I'll join your cover band. I got nothing else to do. It's not like I'm touring the world for Slipknot right now, and I'm probably preparing another Stone Sour record. And I have kids, I have family. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Or is he getting married? I don't remember this.
The last I checked, he's in a pretty happy relationship with a new girlfriend of his.
Well,
I don't know.
I know that they're engaged. I don't know if they got married. They are engaged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And but yeah, that's a lit wrap for our boys from Of the Sick.
Yeah.
All right, I might be tempted to go look them up, but on to more news. Linkin Park.
More. Yeah.
Song called "In the End." Have you heard this song, George?
Pavlos. God, I don't think so. No, I'm kidding. Absolutely, I've heard this song a million times. It's great. It's
a meme, everybody. In the end, it doesn't need. Come on, boys. It's a meme, my dude. It's like lit. The song is an embodiment of beauty. But
yeah,
the music video, which it's really cheesy. It's a very cheesy. It's like very 2000s music video.
I mean, it was 2000, man. What do you expect?
Yeah, but crawling music video was okay. Never mind. That was cheesy too as well. But was that the one? Was crawling the one with the where they had like a drawing, or was that something else?
I don't know. I'm not.
I think that was not Last in the Yeah, I've listened to a lot more Linkin Park than I think you have, but
absolutely, without doubt.
Going back to In the End, 1 billion views, over 1 billion views on YouTube.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I'm impressed. You know, and I was heavily impressed that that the song even managed to reach 1 billion views in this modern day where the average, the median, young adult listeners listening to pop or hip hop or rap or what have you, country. But what's even makes me more impressed is that this wasn't even the first music video by Linkin Park to get to 1 billion views. In fact, Numb, from their second record, Meteora, did this before In the End. Which kind of leaves me scratching my chin, like in wonder. It's interesting.
I'm not surprised. I feel like In the End's more popular.
I agree.
I mean, I know In the End and Numb are like their two signature songs. Those are like their two intertwined, along with Crawling and One Step Closer is on that level.
Yeah, I agree. And it's interesting to me because I think this happened In the End, getting 1 billion views. I think this happened for, two reasons. Because one, I think, due to, Chester Bennington passing away, I think that was a catalyst for fans to process their grief by listening to Linkin Park's music and going on YouTube and watching that YouTube video and, process the emotion and get through the hardship of his passing. But then on the flip side, like this, I think this song, and as you mentioned, others have become memes, not just in metal memes, but just in mainstream memes, like memes that your average median citizen and pedestrian would observe on the internet, before a lot more than, say, a Metallica meme or a Slipknot meme. I think that really helped this song get better exposure to a new generation in this social media age. And that's kind of my take on how this song was able to achieve this immaculate feat, if you will.
That's so cool. That was what, but it's not just In the End is a great song, but I mean, it's not personally. I think part of it is it's not my all-time favorite one because it's overplayed,
Yeah.
It's like,
I agree.
That's why I don't listen to Imagine Dragons as much as I used to.
Yeah.
Played. And the one, my favorite album by Imagine Dragons is their Smoke and Mirrors. And that had the least hits. Had like one big radio hit. And that song is the worst song on the record. Everything else on the album is really good, at least. I don't know. There's something about hearing a song on the radio a lot and then not hearing a certain song. That might be why, because I listen to a lot of punk. That might be why I love punk, because it's just unheard of.
Right. Yeah, it's not getting a bunch of rotation. I think same thing for metal music with me. Now, I think, of course, there are exceptions to the rule. I think Metallica, for me, does that because I hear Metallica all the time, and their songs endure being played over and over on a rock radio station or whatever. But I completely agree with you. I think In the End, and to the same extent, Hybrid Theory it's a bit of a smoke and mirrors effect, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
in the end, gets constant radio play. Even to this day, like on alt radio stations, on rock radio stations, it constantly, not constantly, but it is played a fair bit. And so I hear it a lot more than One Step Closer. I hear it more than Crawling, and I certainly hear it more than the deep cuts like Paper Cut and Points of
Well,
Authority and all those other ones.
would you call Paper Cut a deep cut? It's kind of big. Eh.
Is it kind of big?
Yeah, well, I mean, they play it a lot. I've heard on the radio. I always thought,
Oh, okay.
maybe I'm wrong, but I always thought it was bigger than it was. Quick fun fact about that: it's one of
Yeah.
It's Chester Bennington's favorite song off of the album.
Paper Cut?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a good one, and it's a really cool opener for an album, and especially an album as unique as Hybrid Theory. But yeah, I think going back to what I was saying before, because of in the end getting all of this radio exposure and play, it's not really my utmost favorite. It's good. Like, it's a good song, and it's one of the first Linkin Park songs I've ever heard. But it is definitely, in my opinion, not their best, and not the best off that record. But going on to more about the record itself, Hybrid Theory, would you say that this milestone of in the end getting 1 billion views, does this add any weight to the argument that Hybrid Theory is the most successful new metal album of all time? Or do you think there's another album that you could chalk up to be the best?
Well, it kind of depends. Well, new metal is a weird, like, it's a weird genre because there's like a lot of classifiers for new metal. But I will say Linkin Park is probably the biggest band, one of the probably 5 biggest bands to come off of that.
Yeah.
And because, well, they didn't just have one album. They had 2 albums that are
Right.
both basically equal on stance. And that's
Yeah.
probably also a big part of it because they had not 1 but 2 probably top 10 records
Yeah.
in that genre. And I do think that's part of it.
Okay.
Because but also if you look at the songs, they happen to have a lot of huge songs. Like
Right.
I know people said that, like, Deftones, they have
Yeah.
a bunch of, they're a new metal band, but even White Pony, it didn't have as many like there was like maybe 2 or 3 big songs. Linkin Park had also, well, yeah, again, unlike Deftones, they had 2 big albums. And I know that Deftones have big albums, but White Pony is on that level with Hybrid Theory.
Right.
And Meteora.
And
whatever you want to call it. But
right.
they happen to have like these records, and they also, part of it is they continue to change. I don't know if this is answering your question, but they continue to change their style to make it fit more, I think, with whatever's happening, and that's part of the reason why they're huge, because of they speak to so many different people in different times.
Right. And going back to what you're asking, and I think this does answer my question somewhat. I think that from what you're saying, I think it's tough to say, because again, this is such a subjective question to pose upon you. But I definitely think that Linkin Park was certainly one of the most accessible new metal bands of the new metal explosion in the late 90s, early 2000s. And going back to what you're saying about Deftones and White Pony, one could even say that White Pony isn't really even a new metal record at heart. It feels more of like an alt metal record.
Oh,
because it's interesting, because the genre new metal, we hear, I hear that all the time, that the genre is quote unquote dead, and there's a reason why you don't hear much about
new bands
like yeah, you don't hear much about like Limp Bizkit and
The only
Non-Point and Salival and like all of these
yeah
or Saliva, all these bands that were in the new metal explosion of that era. There's a reason why you hear about Korn, Disturbed,
because they keep
Linkin Park, Deftones, and not the ones that I mentioned previously, because those bands managed to evolve out of that new metal style and evolve into something more of standard heavy metal or even alt metal.
yeah. So well, Linkin Park kind of did that, except famous for being a new metal band.
Right.
Like even everyone's like, oh, they're a new metal band, even though they became Linkin Park, or people like to call them Linkin Pop.
Yeah, they definitely did. I think that's a really interesting point to point out that their evolution as a band is certainly one of the most fascinating, I think, in the world of music, because they went from, again, being in a genre of metal to being a full-blown pop group, like as accessible can be. And I think that certainly left a lot of fans scratching their heads. But I think from a creative standpoint, it's one of the most fascinating journeys of evolution that you can see from any band. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would agree. There's not many bands have that type of a history. These bands actually just, even when they get big, they have like that one song that everyone remembers them by. Like, remember that band Congos and then the "Come With Me Now" song?
Yes, I do.
Come with me now. Come with, yeah, that's, yeah. I have two of their albums, but was that what that's a one-hit wonder.
Yeah,
It's like no one remembers any of their other stuff.
I think if I remember correctly, their next record, they released another single that got some radio play, but it certainly never came close to being the same as "Come With Me Now." So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Is it just me? Do you think that we should bring Chester back from the dead?
Well, I'm certain that many, 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 many people would launch onto the idea of utilizing necromancy to resurrect Chester from the dead, because that man's voice is, oh boy, he certainly one of the most emotional singers that ever graced the face of this earth. I mean, I would even say you could chalk him up with Jonathan Davis of Korn, and even Lane Staley of Alice in Chains, in terms of just the amount and the sheer emotional weight that they would throw with their powerful vocalization. Certainly makes that, in my opinion, like those are the lead singers that you remember, right? The ones that can, really evoke a certain emotional response out of you.
Yeah.
And Chester certainly did that, as well as the other ones that I mentioned.
Right. I feel like Chester is, he and like Vinnie Paul and Lemmy.
Yeah, Lemmy.
Are they gonna come out and Chuck Schuldiner?
Yeah.
Chuck. Yeah, they're all gonna come out of the ground, like out of a rocket ship, going, "Oh yeah, dude, we're here, my dudes. It's time to bring hell to earth."
And they start playing black.
And then they're all gonna start a band.
They start playing Black Magic by Slayer, because gosh dang, if that isn't one of the greatest starting riffs of all time.
Comes out, Limp Bizkit sucks.
Channeling our inner Zakk Wylde now, are we?
Yeah, dude. Well, I want a band where we got Marilyn Manson. So
Yeah.
hear me out.
Okay.
Drummers. Four drummers. We're gonna have Inferno,
From Behemoth. Okay.
Gene Hoglan.
Yep.
Let's see. We'll have. I almost said Randy Bly. He's not a drummer.
He is not a drummer.
He has a voice of a drummer, I guess.
Hell yeah. His voice.
The blood's on the wow. So you might as well just admit it. Is that a good Randy Bly?
Could use some work.
Okay. Well, shoot. I feel embarrassed. Tell me his,
No, it's okay.
tell me his name.
Whose name?
The drummer, the old Chris Adler, right?
Oh yeah, Chris Adler.
Yes, he's part of our band in his prime, or when he was still in the band.
When you're still in Lamacon, yeah.
We love you, Chris.
Love you, Chris.
Listening to me from the heavens, just comes into my room. Oh, I'm thank you.
I'm not dead. I'm still alive.
I'm recording a new album. It's me and a rock and my teddy bear and my and from the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers. Oh, and Pringles cans. So we have a lot of Pringles cans.
Okay.
But
Continue
where am I
on.
going? Yeah,
Continue
so
on with this
that's
dream
another
band
band.
of
Chris
yours.
Adler. Mike Portney can be part of the drumming squad too.
Yeah, he's good.
Well, we'll bring the Rev back from the dead.
We're up to 5 drummers now. This
Yeah,
is
we need
illegal.
more. And Lars Ulrich, of course. I'll just play snare. Da, 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 da.
Very accurate snare drum sound.
Yeah,
Must say.
you left the band.
Okay.
Jason. Sorry, Jason. I love you. You were cool. But
Yeah,
we have
okay.
drummers.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We
there's
got,
5.
I'm
6.
thinking,
You have 6 drummers there.
yeah, we have the greatest drum squad. We got the greatest drummers plus Lars and Lars.
Mm-hmm.
all drummers and Lars. But we're also gonna throw in my we're gonna have a bunch of lead singers. We'll have Randy Bly and Corey Taylor.
Okay. That's a good start.
So the beginning of each song. So Nurgle comes in.
Okay.
And he's like, he does a thing. So he'll do like a
thing.
so he'll do a thing, and then Randy Bly will do his own like cool verse, like you know what I mean, right? He'll do his verse.
Yes.
Chester
I do
comes-
know what you mean.
Chester comes in, and he does.
As we read,
He
as
sings
we
the
read
chorus.
from the
He
dead.
sings the chorus, and at the end of the chorus, he does a scream, and then
Mhm.
the scream after that is with Randy Bly, and the next scream after that is with Corey Taylor.
Oh, okay.
We do another thing.
Mhm.
There's like a and then we have like Surge speaking something like really low, and then we do another Nurgle thing for a little bit, and then it goes into Corey Taylor
Yeah.
doing a thing, and then
Yeah.
we hit back to Chester doing the chorus,
Yeah.
and then the scream,
Yeah.
and then there's like a cool like guitar riff,
Mhm.
weird that happens, and then it gets pretty heavy for a little while, and there's like Surge and Chester and Corey are singing like a weird duet thing, and then you got not Lamb of God, that's not a person. We got like Randy and Nurgle doing a thing together, and what's gonna happen then is after that we'll have this bridge thing where
Uh-huh.
Chino does this cool thing, and then right as he goes, yeah, and he does that scream thing that he does, and then it goes right back to Chester, and then they all scream together with Sir
Mhm.
at the end, going, "What is the kiss up on the table?"
Is that the song? Is
Yeah.
Dead?
With a bunch of drummers
Okay.
and unnamed guitarists. Wait,
Pablos.
okay, we need bassists. I want Flea. He's the bassist. He just and we'll have We'll have all three. We'll bring Cliff Burton back, and we'll have Jason, and we'll have Robert.
Robert
All
Trujillo.
three, and all. Oh yeah.
Okay.
And we'll have yeah, it's gonna be lit. And then our guitarists.
I hope we cut all of this out. This is not good content.
This is great content. What are you talking about?
We just sat here for 10 minutes dreaming up a song with dead and alive musicians. I don't know. Maybe some people.
This is my favorite part of the whole thing. I don't know what you're talking about, George.
Let's just move on. Okay, let's just.
But no, my dude.
Oh, not yet. Not
yet. We'll also bring Marilyn Manson in. But all he'll do is clap. And he'll read his bedtime stories.
Is this read nursery rhymes?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Everyone who's listening is gonna be so confused.
All our listeners have left. Like, I don't know about you, but they just ran right out the door. The 20 or so that we
Good. They don't need
no
less. All right.
Okay. Whatever.
Up next. All right. What happened? Okay, we were talking about hybrid theory. All right, George. What does hybrid theory mean to you as an album?
Hybrid theory?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's interesting because, again, I was exposed to the record, or more specifically to Just in the End, for a long time. I had only just that song. But then in the summer of my freshman year, I went to a Best Buy back when they still carried CDs.
They did?
Yeah, they don't anymore. But one of the last CDs I bought from Best Buy was a copy of Hybrid Theory. And I remember going home and I scanned that CD into my computer and I listened to that record, and it's interesting because there are records where it's like you have the records where, you know, the first half's good, the back half isn't great. And then sometimes you have records that it's the vice versa. But this was a record, Hybrid Theory. This was an album that just is cohesive from the first song to the last. The whole thing is solid. It's rock solid. It's this unique, just pure and graceful blend of metal, hip hop, alt rock, just this, and electronica, like this cohesive blend of all of these amazing genres and into one album. And I'm again, like, I'm speechless. I can't find words for it. It is such a unique listening experience.
It's
the first time that you listen to it.
It's the perfect embodiment of just nu metal, because the idea of nu metal is combinations of genres, and so
yeah,
it's got everything. I mean, One Step Closer is just the heavy metal anthem, basically.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
That's probably the heaviest song off the record.
If not, well, Points of Authority is pretty heavy.
That's true.
So
that's what?
Trying to take the best of me. Go away, yo! Trying to take that one. Place for my head. I want to be an enemy, now at the end.
And
yeah, place for my head, I believe.
Copyright strike. Boom.
We have no copyright strike.
None.
I am copyright. I only when we record, when we throw in more than like 3 seconds of something.
Okay.
Don't worry. If I say the word behemoth, Oh, copyright strike! Oh, it's a bad name. Metallica. Lars is coming right after us, like Napster. It's Napster all over again. Except he did it to some random freaking.
He just did it to a couple of metalheads who like.
Yeah, who are nobodies.
Yeah, we're
we're just gonna disown Metallica. Sorry, Metallica, you're out of my top 10. Lars, yeah. I've left the fan base, Lars. How do you feel now? I want to say I'm sorry. And Napster, you still suck. Okay. Any Metallica fan that on here that's like a diehard, they're gonna laugh hard about that. They better.
Probably. Yeah. All you diehard Metallica fans out there.
Marilyn Manson buys off Napster for no reason.
We are requiring you to laugh. If you don't, the consequences.
Laugh now!
No, I'm kidding. You're fine. You're fine. I don't care.
I'm not kidding. I don't mind.
Oh, well, apparently my co-host here isn't kidding. And
I never joke around.
No.
I never freeze.
I never freeze.
It's a Black Panther quote, my dude.
Indeed it is. I got you.
I never freeze. Deicide featuring Black Panther. I never freeze.
Oh,
I'm not gonna. I'm just done with that.
Okay.
I don't know where that came from.
All right. What's next?
What was I talking about? Oh, for me, Hybrid Theory is a beautiful album. You got best track on the record, One Step Closer.
Yeah.
You got that. That's a guitar intro, guys. Oh, that's a break. Because I want to say how close for you guys. Oh, that's a break. I just turned into Nurgle for a second.
Is that the Behemoth version?
About the break.
Oh,
about the break. Oi! About to break. I hope Nurgle finds this. Actually, I don't know if I want him to find this.
He's probably gonna have his head in his hands and just be like, "What the fuck?"
Lars would just be immediately like, "I'm suing them." That's the last time I'm bringing it up. All right, the next thing we're talking about. So I have a list of artists that are actually working on things. And we're going to talk about these artists and what we think of these.
Oh.
Some of these I know you're not going to... I'm skipping ones that I'm just not going to, about. Like Blink-182. Nothing to say. Just nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, Corey Taylor. It says here.
Yeah. Huh.
So he has a bunch of... He's run over the years, so don't fit with either Stone Sour or Slipknot.
Okay.
And so he was like, well, I'm in quarantine. So the perfect time to do some solo work.
Yeah, I mean...
Dude, well, how do we feel about going to hear some Corey Taylor stuff?
I'm not sure. I'm a little... As a big fan of Slipknot and a pretty fine fan with Stone Sour, I feel a little disconcerted about him saying that music that he's written doesn't fit in either. So that usually, or not usually, but that, I don't know. I get the vibe that means it's going to be maybe more mellow, chilled out, not very metal or rockish. So it might be I might pass on it, but I mean, it's good that he's, taking creative authority and making songs, in new ways, right? I personally, just my opinion, would be kind of excited, just because I know that Corey Taylor listens to literally everything. I mean, he loves Wu-Tang Clan. He likes all these
he covers all these songs at solo performances.
Mhm.
When he played SpongeBob SquarePants. Really, guys, you want me to play this? Yeah,
Classic,
SpongeBob SquarePants.
classic moment.
It's a beautiful moment.
Beautiful.
But yeah,
Beautiful.
I would be excited just
It's gorgeous.
personally.
Okay, I mean that's fair.
Uh,
But yeah, so we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah.
yeah, who knows if he ends up doing anything? But I hope
Yeah.
he does. So, up next we got Def Leppard.
All right. Not wasn't
me-
expecting that, but
For
that's
just for
cool.
me, I like them a lot. I've seen them live twice. They are they're just an all around awesome, just fun performance to see. And
Yeah.
just for me, all their unlike a lot of that style of music, most bands just have garbage albums after that. All their
Yeah.
all their albums to me have been like just good music. Like, just solid
Nice.
albums. Like, yep, these aren't bad. There's nothing to hate. There's nothing to hate on. There's nothing for me to specifically love. And I'd go see them again. They are still apparently coming in December with ZZ Top, Portland.
Oh, nice.
But
That's
yeah,
a good lineup. Yeah, that's Def Leppard. It's interesting because you kind of see Def Leppard getting roped in with the hair metal movement with Poison and Whitesnake and Motley Crue and all bands of that thing. But when you listen to Def Leppard, there's something else about them that doesn't make it feel cheesy, like Whitesnake and all those other bands that I mentioned.
even though it feels like it should be cheesy, but it isn't. It's like
like
it's weird.
And I think it might have something to do that they technically got started right around the same time that Judas Priest and Motorhead were making a move and developing the new wave of British heavy metal scene. So that might have something to do with them having a little bit more of a bit more of an aggressive edge to their music that makes it not cheesy and actually rip. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm down. I mean, I'm not. They release an album every few years. The last one was pretty good.
Okay.
Let's see it. Next band, Godsmack.
Godsmack.
Yeah, they say that we're they're just trying to write because they can't. They're like, we can't tour right now, so why not do more music? I mean, this is most of these bands.
Yeah.
They're gonna try and get this done as well as possible as in their situation.
Cool.
They're a fun band. They're not. I haven't fully integrated myself into their sound or their music, but that's cool. They're a cool band. I do like "I Stand Alone," which I know that's a generic song, but pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely exciting news because as a fan of their first three albums, self-titled, Awake, and Faceless, definitely excited to see what Godsmack puts out. I know to the majority of their fan base, they laid a little bit of an egg with When Legends Rise. Wasn't that the name of their most recent record?
If I remember correctly, yes.
Yeah, so they kind of they didn't do they kind of did a little bit of a back step on that one, according from what I could tell from the majority of their fan base. So it'll be interesting to see what's their next move. Are they going to continue on with this new direction, or are they going to maybe go back to some of their more grunge influenced alt metal roots? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, we'll figure that out. All right, next up, Megadeth.
Ah, yes.
This is a band I know you love to bits.
Oh yeah,
Megadeth. I'm finally. I know. Like for years, I was like, they're okay. I respect them. And then recently, I don't know what. I think it was. I think I was listening. This was like the 12th time I gave them a chance, and I'm like, all right. I think it was Hangar 18 and a song off of. I think the song Dystopia.
Yeah.
Off the album Dystopia. Those are the two songs that kind of hooked me back. And I'm really digging this. I heard bits of other songs. I'm like, I'll put them on my list of some bands I need to try and listen to.
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll eventually get to them, and then I'll try to re-get into them. But well, how do you feel? This is about this about them. How much do you want to hear another Megadeth record?
Um, Personally, as a big fan, I am just dying to hear the new material. I think
That's without.
this album has been on the horizon for a good deal now. Ever since they got their new drummer Dirk Van Buren, who did work for the melodic death metal band Soilwork. He's a fantastic drummer, and he's gonna be great for Megadeth and this new record.
Oh, he was on
Um,
Soilwork. It's cool.
yeah, he was a drummer
A cool
he
band.
was a drummer for Soilwork. Yeah, very cool band. But with Dave Mustaine getting throat cancer and COVID-19 combined, like that really did put a there were several roadblocks in the way to this album's production. But I think recently uh, David Ellison he did an interview with Loudwire, and he said that the album's clicking away just fine. Him and Dirk are laying down the drum and bass tracks,
Yeah.
and they're making progress as we speak. And can't wait to listen to this new material and see them on the road. I really hope they rescheduled the tour dates they were going to do with Lamb of God,
And Trivium
so I
and In
could
Flames.
maybe see them again.
Yeah, you want it. That's the one man you're missing on the big four. Because you
Yeah,
Slayer,
yeah,
Lucky, Anthrax, and
yeah,
Metallica. I've seen none.
yeah,
You're just missing Megadeth, and it's like for you, you're like, oh, he's coming with Ozzy. Oh, not Megadeth. Oh, Ozzy's like, gotta do surgery. Oh, they're coming back. God, Dave, really? You gotta get cancer.
yeah.
Oh, stupid cancer. And then freaking Marilyn
COVID.
Man, and then Marilyn Manson came. Like, cool. And then Ozzy's like, oh no, I can't do it, Sharon. Okay, I do. Oh, Ozzy, you should do this. Okay, Sharon. I trust you. I have a new album coming out. Sorry, Melon. It's okay, Ozzy.
Okay. Anyway,
Sorry,
but
I
yeah.
love impersonating people.
But yeah. So yeah, as a Megadeth fan, I'm personally excited by this news and hope the album comes out pretty soon.
All right, Metallica. One.
Nice.
This I am looking forward to mainly. This is a lot of it is because they're going to when they release an album, they tour. They
Yeah.
tour hard.
Yeah.
I've been dying
I mean,
to see this band for a few years. I mean, okay, I know people have been waiting longer than me, but ooh, this is a band that is a must see. I might maybe even over Slipknot. Maybe. That's how big
really
to me. This is okay, not Slipknot, but you know what I mean. This band is real. This is they're up there.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like, I mean, particularly we've seen this, we've seen this out of their touring cycle for dating all the way back to 2003 Saint Anger, where they will spend up to 3 to 4 years on the road just touring and just doing dates.
And they did that.
And I think they've stated in multiple interviews that they love being on the road and they want to be on the road as much as possible. And
wherever I'm at Rome.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a song about being on the road.
Yeah, if that song doesn't sum up their lifestyle, I really don't know what does. And to be frank, it's certainly when you come from a position of rock star and metal star royalty, such as Metallica, you can afford to do that. You can be on the road for a single record for 3 years, even plus, So it's, I mean, I think I got to see them on their Worldwide tour twice, two separate legs. I saw them on their stadium leg with when they had Gojira and Avenged Sevenfold opening. I didn't even see Gojira and Avenged Sevenfold. You could barely hear them in in
At least you
centrally
saw
Lincoln.
them.
You can't. I mean, Metallica was as loud as you could get, but I mean, I don't even count really seeing them because I could barely hear their stuff, but whatever. And then I saw them again when they came to the Moda Center and they were
Did they
doing
have an
their
opener
arena
for that?
tours. They had a comedian, a metalhead comedian who did a bunch of crowd interaction stuff. He was funny. I kind of wish there would have been an opener, but beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah.
But yeah, each time they brought the house down. They are even in their old age. They put on one hell of a show, and it's a lot of fun. So very good to see that Metallica is working on new material, and just to see that we get an album that a new album that's not like 8 years in between records.
All
So.
right. For this next one, I'd like to go through a bit quickly. The next couple, but
Okay.
Ministry. I don't have a lot to say about this. I know.
I mean, it's like pretty good. Like they're quintessential industrial metal.
Weird, but
Indeed, very weird. But
the freaking Hot Rod. Jesus built my Hot Rod.
What a glorious song!
Such a weird song.
I don't know. I think like I'm intrigued. I'm a pretty big fan of the mind is a terrible thing to taste, and Psalm 69, way to succeed and to suck eggs. So I mean, we'll see, but I mean, that's all I have to say.
All right, 9 Inch Nails. I know they released recently, but they're already thinking of another thing that he's going to do. He's already gonna go. And Trent Reznor was like, "Oh, I'm gonna work on more stuff."
Hey,
they're trying a lot of material.
Yeah, as a pretty big 9 Inch Nails fan, got nothing to complain about that. There was a lot of people that felt a little lukewarm about their Ghosts 5 together and Ghosts 6 Locusts, primarily because it felt more cinematic score-esque than your typical 9 Inch Nails material. But I enjoyed those records nonetheless. They were very interesting. Lots of really cool sounds and arrangements. So, but yeah, I'm even more excited to hear that they're working on perhaps maybe more traditional material. So
another Ghosts thing.
Ghost 7, whatever that
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 coming right at you. Okay.
But yeah, I think I'm pretty happy about that. We'll see what more news trickles down, and we'll see it when it comes. But that's exciting.
All right, here's another quick one. Power Trip.
Hey,
I still need to. I would really like to get to know more of their. They're on the list of bands that are like, these guys could be big for the. Sorry.
Yeah, they have a
what I've heard, they're really good.
Yeah, they have a good blend of thrash metal and straight up heavy metal, and even like kind of a punk vibe to them.
Yeah.
So they definitely have a great blend of influences, and definitely very unique and easy to identify, which is very important, especially in this day and age where a lot of people are looking for bands that stand out of the crowd. So I'm definitely intrigued to see what next they put out.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Next guy we're gonna talk about is someone as a band who people are like, are we gonna get another album? Are we getting 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 another album? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Hours.
Yeah.
I almost said pronounced Serge Tankian.
Hey.
Man himself, the conductor of orchestras, the Kombucha mushroom people, man.
Yeah, the sod frontman.
So add Suid.
Yeah.
Suid. Or you can call
Why
him
don't you
System.
repeat that 4 times?
Suid. He also did my favorite word, tables.
Ah, yes, tables.
Table.
But yeah, anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say on this. Like, I would infinitely prefer a System of a Down record, but I guess I'm mildly intrigued at what he puts up next.
These songs that he says he will probably release have been for years intended for System of a Down. But now that he realizes that he's kind of all kind of realize that they can't work together. They go on and they're like they said he says that they're still friends. They can't work together. They like to have fun. They'll make jokes. He said that but the politics gets in the way. Just business. Who gets writing credit on this? Money, stuff like that. And they all have their own directions that they want to put in.
Right.
Like Darren wants to get heavier. Serge wants to go more alternative.
Right. Yeah, that's. I mean, I know the world's been agonizing over that for a long time, but I mean,
this is probably the best that we'll get.
Yeah, and also, to be honest, it's just there's no other way to put that. What happened to Sod was a tragedy, and similarly, Rage Against the Machine was a band that hit very hard when they came on the scene, and before you even knew it, they were gone. So, I mean, and conveniently, System of a Down picked up the political torch after Rage went away. But I think really, I can't say anything else other than that it's a tragedy that we probably won't get another record out of those guys, because that easily was one of the most unique metal bands in the world.
They are still one of the most unique. I mean, they're still a band. They still tour and everything, but
that's true.
Successively. But Serge said that in an interview that this is in one sense a good thing, because they all want, because he's trying to make this look in a bright way, like what artists will do. Like he said that it's like if you and another famous painter, like two main famous painters, what if they tried to work on a piece together, but they both had completely different views? That's what writing music can be.
Yeah.
That it shows devotion in a sense, but he understands why everyone is upset, and it's just the way he says. I'm just happy that we're still friends and we can put all this aside and still do shows and still.
Yeah. That. I think that's definitely that's definitely a pretty solid silver lining to gain from this, because again, like, as a huge fan of Sod and a guy that was completely enraptured with Toxicity when I was listening to that
today too,
and still a fan of this band today, I think I'm still excited to see if they can stick around, and hopefully I can maybe catch them at a show.
I would drive down to California to see him. Like there was the System Down with Korn.
Yeah,
Faith No More or something, and then and I mean, I know we both seen Korn already, but I would see him again.
Absolutely.
And System of Down's headlining, and
nice.
They're just an awesome, weird metal band, and with lit people. But
absolutely.
Yeah. So next, last but not least, Tool, and this only off the words of Danny Carey. Or no, sorry.
That was Danny Carey.
I believe, it was Danny Carey. He said, Justin and I and Adam Jones might start doing stuff, and we might write a. Well, no, they're already working on an album, and he said, Danny Carey's like, maybe we'll do another EP or something. Yeah, we'll do like a opiate.
Oh, so they're working on another opiate?
Supposedly. It says Tool maybe. This is
Interesting.
only off the words of Danny Carey.
Yeah,
I remind everybody who said that the album would come in a different month before Fear Inoculum was released, and then Maynard comes in, nope, he is wrong. And it's like, what?
yeah,
I don't
so
understand what's happening with when things are happening with that band. But
from what I can tell, Danny Carey is the optimistic one. He's the guy that gives the optimistic, like, oh yeah, maybe this will happen. Maynard, and then Maynard on the other end is more cruelly realistic. So you get a lot of this dynamic of Danny builds you up and then Maynard cuts you down. So
it's like it's like if they're going to a show and Danny's like, we're gonna do a show tomorrow at this place, right? And they're like, yeah, sure, yeah, okay. And then he shows up and he's just waiting for everyone else. Where did they all go? I guess I'll get some other band members. Tries to replace them with other people.
Anyway, yeah. So,
but yeah,
so
that's all.
I mean, if that's true, that's incredibly exciting because.
Well, I love Tool. Cool.
Yeah, Tool's great, and Danny Carey is an absolutely amazing drummer, and yeah, like he might not have been the most reliable source in the past, but still, you know, he is a member, and what he says is at least a form of a pulse of what the band is thinking about doing. So the fact that they're thinking about releasing a new EP's worth of material, maybe just to make up for the 13 years in between 10,000 Days and Fear Inoculum, is very encouraging. I think that's very encouraging news to hear from the Tool camp, that, you know, they're eager to make more music and to make more music and to maybe crank out maybe another album before their tenure is done and they want to retire.
Because I know they hope to release one more. They hope definitely one more record for sure, and hopefully it doesn't take 13 years.
Yeah, let's hope this time.
Before we go any further, I just want to say, because we actually got to see Tool. Mm-hmm. That was our last show we went to, March 11th. At it was nearly sold out at Moda Center.
Yep.
Got these cool shirts as well. They're lit.
Yeah, that was awesome.
If that's the last show I ever go to in my life, then that's a perfect last show to end with.
I agree.
Tool. If I know there's other bands I would have loved to see, but I would still be content with what I've seen. Because Tool alone is an it's not a live performance. It's a music experiment. Experiment. It's an experiment. Where the rats are hypnotizing us.
But I get what you're saying. It's something more than just a concert. It's something a lot greater, grander, and maybe even beyond us.
Portrait.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot more. It's a lot more spiritually significant, I would say.
Yeah. Really quickly, what two bands would you personally like to see have a new album, be working on something in metal, not like anything else?
No, yeah, specifically in metal. That's a really good question. I already know. I remember pre-COVID, Behemoth was working on new material, and they were going to have
the Forest EP.
Yeah, and Nurgle was optimistic for a new album in 2021, so that's exciting. But that's already been sort of confirmed. For bands that haven't really announced anything, God, I'm a fan of so many. I definitely would love to see an update from the Anthrax camp, because
it's been out for a while.
For All Kings has been out for a while, and don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic record. It's fantastic.
And they took their time in between the what was the other one before that?
When they took 5 years, or no, when they took 8 years to record worship music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, and I heard vague snippets a long time ago from, I think, Frank Bello and Charlie Benante, both of them saying like, yeah, we're making the music right now. It's still in the early stages, but it's a lot angrier. It's a lot more aggressive than For All Kings, which is exciting. That's exciting
awesome.
news.
That's good.
Yeah, but I would love to see a new update from them because I haven't heard anything in a while. So, So I personally would love to see some sort of update or whatever on their side of the
whole thing.
The spectrum. Yeah, thank you. So, and then probably the other band, this new up and coming alt metal band, Dead.
Oh yeah, you were talking about them.
Yeah, Dead. Supposedly they're working on a new record. Maria Brink of In This Moment confirmed it when they were working on their album Mother, and she said, "Yeah, Dead's working on a new record, and it's sounding great. I can't wait for other people to hear it." So it's confirmed that they're working on something, but I haven't. But other than two new songs that they've released,
but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, other than 2 new songs that they've released, not a whole lot of updates from their department. So
that's fine.
I would love to see some news from Dead and Anthrax, hopefully. But beggars can't be choosers. They take their time. I'm content to wait.
Personally, I got 3. I'm gonna go through these pretty quickly, but I want to see another Gojira record. For them because they just came off of they seem to be releasing an album every 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because I know Magma came out, but I feel like for their style of music, it's good to keep releasing stuff every 4 years just for you. To me, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see that. I'd also like to see an update in general on what's happening with Fear Factory.
Yeah,
that's a wish that I would. That it's like every month I'm like, okay, Fear Factory, nope, nothing.
Yeah,
but no, nothing. I'm just please come back. I just became a fan and I want to hear something new.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's I tell you, man, it's the lawsuits and then the legal and the legal problems. They're so entangled.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I'm sure they have something that they have something. They've been working on something for when it's done. It's like they're probably like, hey.
Yeah, I mean, I think from the vague rumors that I've heard, supposedly maybe Fear Factory are working on material under another name or another another alias due to legal problems.
That'd be weird.
Yeah,
they might have an album ready. They're just waiting for the right time.
Supposedly,
Fear Factory's back. New album right now.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly that's what the vocalist Burton C. Bell told
I would be okay
publications.
With
that. He said that we have a new album all ready to go. It's called Monolith, and we're just trying to work out some legal issues before we move forward. But then guitarist Dino was like, "What new album?" So there goes that plan.
It's like a Tool with Maynard and Danny. Oh, there's a new. Dynamic. I'm part of Tool. Oh! Which one's two?
Yeah.
I know what Pussifer is.
Oh my God. Yeah. So I agree with you. I definitely would love to see some sort of update from the Fear Factory camp.
And I had one more. I want to see another Red Fang album. Last one was 2015, 2016, Only Ghosts, which I have a signed vinyl of. So local band. Yeah.
Not that you're flexing or anything.
Not that I'm flexing. I mean, I have like 3 different signed things. I'm lucky to have those. I'm lucky to have those. I'm happy that they're a very proud part of my music collection. But
as they should.
Yeah, they're a fun band. If you guys haven't heard them, they're not underground. They're not low. They're local, but they're like big. They're kind of big local. They're famous to a certain group. Yeah, we're proud of them to have these guys, and
totally.
But I would like to hear a new album. They're also a fun performance. I saw their my second metal show.
Nice.
They're just a fun metal band. They're lit.
Nice.
Cool.
That's good.
But honestly, so to all our listeners, at this point, depending on the time we had left and whatever we were done talking about, we would have a segment called "Yeah." Imagine, I'll insert it right now. James Hetfield going, "Yeah." Oh, yeah. We are running out of time. We are running at 1 minute. 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute, George. An hour.
Got 1 minute to win it.
An hour and 12 minutes. So we're not gonna have time for that today, but it's gonna come up. And that was our segment.
Wow, so amazing.
10 seconds. Yeah!
Woo! Yeah!
Oh yeah!
All right. Have a good day, guys.
But
take care of yourself. Rock on.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know what this is gonna be released on, so we're hoping to get this on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. I'm still trying to figure out how to get these on there. I hope. Hopefully I'm working on an Instagram page right now, which should be up and running. The Facebook thing might be on. Don't quote me on it. Have a good night. Anyways, I'm Pavlos. Just so you know.
And I'm George.
And we're just a couple of metalheads. Have a lit night, y'all. And see ya.
Yeah.